Right, so we'll begin. Hello everyone. I'm Dominic. Uh, Today is the 29th of June, 2026, for the Kubeflow community distribution uh, meeting. It was previously the AI reference platform, but as the Kubeflow community distribution team has started to form, we've decided to change the name from reference to AI reference platform to community distribution. It shouldn't change the process of the release too much, but we will see in the upcoming months. Um, Before we get into this meeting, I do want to say that this meeting is covered by the CNCF uh, Code of Conduct. The TLDR for that is to just to be respectful to each other, hear people out. If your actions cause any harm, then make sure to apologize and to make sure everybody gets along well. Um, Before we get into the meeting notes, I do see there are a few new people. If anybody wants to introduce themselves, then feel free to do so.
Hello, my name is Arthur. I'm from Ireland. I got to know about these release meetings from Dominic itself in the Python PyData, I think, meetup. I go so many, and I find this interesting concept in terms of being driving the community from release management perspective. So I decided to join and be able to contribute in any way I can. So happy to be here. Hello, everybody.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Anybody else? Anybody else? I'll give you 5 seconds. Also, I should have said this earlier as well. If you don't feel comfortable with voice chat, then you can always send a message in the text chat as well. I do have it open, and we'll read it out loud. Right. Okay. So with that being said, I just get right into the documentation. I'll share screen as well. Um, if it will let me. There we go. Okay, should have put this up earlier, but yeah, let's just go through today's documentation agenda. The 26.10 release. I've been nominated a few months ago at this point, about a month or so ago. With KubeCon happening in 19 weeks. Uh, I decided just to take the initiative and create the roadmap now, and start discussing this ASAP. There hasn't been like an official handout, but with the way things are going, I'm kind of assuming that's what's happening. Uh, I think in the future that would be a good bit of feedback from last release to this one. Um, so like with that, I do want to look back at previous release. That's like one of the first things is that the handoff to me wasn't as clear as it maybe should have been. One other thing I've heard from like last week's community meeting also was that the recording for the 26.03 release notes, while it was good to have everyone in the same call at the same time, the video did get a bit long, and sometimes different components had more time dedicated to them versus others. Uh, it might be a good thing to find like a middle ground where maybe everybody joins in at the same time, but maybe each component has like 1 or 2 minutes dedicated to them. And so then we can make like a short and sweet and to the point release video for next time. One other thing that comes to mind for me as well is the release for 26.03 came like the release cut and the second release cut. It was very narrow, to the point where although 26.03 did get cut before KubeCon Europe, the website wasn't updated in time. So even though we had 26.03 released, if you go to the documentation, it would just point to 1.11 as the newest instead of 26.03. So it caused a lot of confusion for people that were showing up to the booth, and also just other people showing up at KubeCon and speaking with a few other KubeCon or Kubeflow users within the conference. Um, so for this roadmap, I've made it so that we hopefully release a little bit sooner, and we have some leeway to like if we go over the date, then we'll have some extra time to adjust. I remember Julius was saying that because there was like a really big backlog of things in the manifest that we weren't able to release it in time, and that shouldn't be much of an issue moving forward, but just one thing to keep an eye out for. And also, every component wasn't able to send someone. That's also a good thing. I know I wasn't there myself because I was at an event, but from what I've heard, we had like people on our team cover it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just curious, like which components didn't have people show up, if we remember.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't say, but probably like two or three.
Hmm. Okay, that's not too bad then. Yeah, I mean that is
Yeah, a
always to be
decent number
expected.
of people showed up. Yeah,
Yeah, I know with like different time zones and holidays and everything, it's a bit difficult to align. That was one thing that kind of stuck out to me a little bit as well, although it's maybe not. I'd be hesitant to put this in the like feedback doc, but during last release, like because it was on Monday, a lot of bank holidays in Europe landed on that same Monday, and I think there was like two or three meetings that I wasn't able to attend just because of that. Um, or ones that maybe I like maybe shouldn't have attended but did anyway. Um, Looking at the calendar this time around though, there aren't many bank holidays in Europe, and the one that's in August is on the off week, so I don't think that'll be an issue.
we can also think about moving it from Monday just for the future, like going forward, thinking even ahead to like next spring when we'll fall on the same holidays falling on Mondays.
Hmm. Yeah, that'd be good. It's just I'd be a bit hesitant to move it because every other day is kind of taken up, like with this time slot. Maybe if it
Right.
was on Tuesday, like after the community meeting, but then having two meetings back to back can seem a bit
Yeah, that can be a lot.
too much. Yeah. And I like having these meetings before the community meeting because then we can get a bit more up-to-date information out.
Right, we're ready with updates for tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. That's what's it's something it's still something to consider. We'll write it down. I will create a I've been talking about this for a while. I wasn't sure if to like to create a thread on Slack or um just creating like a Word doc or even just putting it in the meeting notes here. These reflection points. So meetings landed on bank holidays 2 to 3 times uh, during 26.03 release. 06.03 release uh, cut really close to con EU. There was no 26.03. Uh, so that's 26.03 release cut. Meetings landed on this. I forgot what I said earlier. It just slipped my mind. It was the not the recordings. The recording went well. It was good to have many liaisons on at the same time. Uh,
Yeah, I think one other thing to consider is that quite some components only landed on the .1 release, which made it
mhm.
more than, I don't know, a patch release in the sense that it meant to be.
Yeah, there was breaking changes between point one and the initial release, which doesn't isn't good as well. Um, had breaking changes, and some components were only updated in the patch release. I think the not pipelines. There was like this one component specifically that broke, if I recall. I'm not sure which one it was, but it caused like some really big change. It had like something in there. Dashboard. Yes. I do want to ask actually, Christian. Like with the 2.0 dashboard. I mean I guess I'm jumping a little bit ahead here, but I put down that like September would be like the feature freeze and then we would start the first release cut. Do you think that would be enough time for like notebooks 2.0?
I think that would be enough time, but let me check. We wrote down a initial deadline
Mm-hmm.
for our working group. Also, maybe as a general note, because some of the components, or a good portion of the ones that were late, were from this our working group.
Mm-hmm.
We have increased the bus factor since, so there's now a second WG JAR that also has the possibility to do releases and so on. And so all of this should definitely go smoother from our end. And also one of the big issues was that this is a bit what maybe Julius was referring to. Our components had a lot of really big changes included, and like the first version of the 2.0 alpha. And so getting all of that right, and getting all of that synced in, and in the meantime also doing the like product development itself was kind of a capacity issue on the working group end. But now there has been new engineers or new groups joining the working group, and also the working group from a governance side has a bit of a better standing now.
Mm-hmm. So there's more people involved, so this shouldn't be as much of a load to bear. Getting involved since carry. Okay. Those are like the main bits of feedback that I had in mind. If there's anything else after the meeting, do feel free to message me on Slack or if or just even add it to the documentation here as a suggestion. As a suggestion, I'll see it and we can improve it and we can elongate this a bit more as well to give free community notes tomorrow. Moving on, yeah, KubeCon North America is 19 Mondays away. Um, I've created just a sample roadmap here. It's using the release handbook that Tarek made for last release. I've used that as a base template. Um, I've marked with like the little asterisks here, which meetings will be or which weeks we'll have a meeting and which ones we won't. I've also highlighted some events as well, like KubeCon Japan and like the Kubeflow virtual event, um, and open source summits as well. Those are the events that kind of pop out to me. I know there's plenty of other events going on as well. If anybody's attending some of them, do feel free to add it to the documentation as well. Um, I think again, like going back to previous release where we cut it really close, I made sure to give us some space. I still feel like maybe this is not enough space. It's like a mid-October release, if maybe I were even to move it 1 week earlier. Um, I feel like that might be good, but it also depends on if we decide to go for a second release cut or if we just go ahead with the first one. Um, that is tough to predict. I would be curious to hear like how much like each component is hoping to pack in. I know with like notebooks, there's a lot to do. But for maybe other components, it may not be as much as it did for 26.03. So if anybody has any other recommendations for a timeline, I would be happy to hear. If not, I'll put this in for the community meeting tomorrow as well, and I'll get feedback as well from Matthew and everybody else. Sounds good? Sounds good. I've also started assembling the release team for 26.10. We are looking for more release manager shadows. Um, I know Arthur, you joined. I'm calling you out here, but if you would like, you can add your name to this document as well. I'll approve it, and we can work together, and I'll give you a rundown. There is a handbook I can also share. I'll get the link for you now. That kind of goes over the different roles. Yes, Alyssa?
I'm already the pipelines liaison, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm also interested in the shadow position. If you're still looking for people there.
Okay, perfect. The more, the merrier, I would say. I'll just slot you in there.
Thank you.
There you go. It is always nice to have extra people. There may be weeks where I'll be at events, like Open Source Summit Europe is the one I'm eyeing for now, but there's also like other events surrounding that one, like PyCon Ireland, for example. Um, there might be a time where I won't be available, uh, for like one of those time zones or time frames. So if a release manager shadow could fill in the void for that, that would be good.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Here is I've put it in the Zoom chat there. The release handbook if you care to take a read. Um, but yeah, like this goes over the responsibilities of like a release manager shadow and what release managers do. Um, I would say like when I was at least when I was a release manager shadow last time, this was about like a 2 to 8 hour commitment weekly, depending on what had to be done. Um, I would say 8 hours is like slightly extreme. Um, if I recall, we did you mention that I know I might be confusing you with someone here, Arthur, but there was someone that mentioned like they won't be able to make like some meetings, for example, just because like it would misalign with their working hours, right? Yeah.
So 5 o'clock for me is fine, although it's within the limit on Mondays. But if we go to I think the other on Tuesday is at 4 p.m.
Hmm.
And the Mondays is now sometimes not ideal because of the bank holidays, and I usually travel as well.
Did my internet drop?
Hello?
I think Dominic may be
Yeah.
frozen.
Yes, my internet
Uh,
dropped for a moment there. Am I back?
okay. Yes,
Okay,
I
sorry.
Yep.
thought it was
I
me.
I don't know what you I just heard you
But
say so you can't make it to the ones on Tuesday and then it cut off for me.
yeah, on Tuesdays I have meetings that will collide with the 4
Hmm.
o'clock p.m. Ireland time. But yeah, Mondays can be worked out depending on the weeks, the same as when you have events or places to go. It'll be the same with me. Um, I'm used to release management and configuration management, so I have expertise. I won't be a newbie,
Hmm.
but I can fill the shoes when someone needs support if I'm around. So that's the idea. I also like to contribute with the open source. So in terms of the process, happy to contribute. But we all have this, and everyone has restrictions. These
Hmm.
we do it for the love of the thing. I don't expect to be.
Yeah.
So if I'm available and I can help, yes.
Of course, thank you very much. I will appreciate it. It's always fun to learn. I'm slightly new to this project management side, like at least release management side of things. So I'll lean on you if I need any extra support. Um, Really appreciate it. Yeah, I've that being said, like with different liaisons, I still have to reach out to a few. I've confirmed most people. I know Christian. I misspelled your name. Apologies. Um, but yeah, I've reached out to most people, and I've gotten a reply for most. I'm still just missing like the Spark operator. I'm missing the Kserve, and I'm also missing like AutoML Katib. I'll reach out to them again, and we'll get a reply, and hopefully by then, like within the next 2 weeks, those will be confirmed. If anybody in these communities is interested in being a liaison, then do feel free to reach out again, and Katib will be merged to trainer. Okay. Yeah, I mean they were in the same like liaison. Is it that Katib is being defunct or like as being defunct like merging into training? Yeah. In the future, yeah, I've heard similar. I haven't been up to date with that, so I haven't changed the title for now, but I did hear similar things. It's just Katib isn't as widely used anymore, at least from what I gather. Mm, that's all I have on my side of things. We'll see in the next 2 weeks. By then, the team should be fully uh, orchestrated, should be fully uh, assembled. Is the word I'm looking for, and then we can start development. Um, yeah, I don't have anything extra. I'll give a few seconds if anybody wants to say something more.
One thing that I'm curious from an engineering standpoint and to try to create a roadmap and to kind of do a calculation, an estimation about delivery. How do we, I'm thinking about having a project with points and stories and burn downs. Is there anything similar to that that we kind of have an idea about how long does it take a team to develop stuff?
Yeah, so Kubeflow is I would say like a foundation of different AI tools that run on Kubernetes. So it's like multiple projects within a project. Um, Different Kubeflow projects have their own roadmaps, and they're usually in like the READMEs or like a roadmap.md file. Sometimes they're in documentation, like Google Docs like this. Um, yeah. So if you were to go through different components, you would find them. I think if you go kubeflow.org, go into docs. It would make sense to add release liaisons as reviewers on each manifest component folder. That could be a good idea. But if I go Kubeflow community meetings, I'll just open these quickly. I believe some of them do have like the roadmaps in here or things that they're working on extra. Um, Active PRs. Some of them could be on like the GitHub actions as well, right? The GitHub projects boards. It's all depending on the community. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Arthur.
Yeah, it does. Um, it's community driven, so it's not like
Hmm.
a closed ecosystem like a Jira board and story points,
Hmm.
deliver sprints and see how the velocity of a team so that we can do a roadmap because there's the bus factor because it's community driven and sometimes
Hmm.
only one person or very few. Now is the time of the silly season, holidays coming, so things will progressively go slower during this time of the year. And according
Hmm.
if we got these metrics in terms of pushing deliverables, PRs and stuff, we kind of get an estimation, the confidence level that this will probably take 3 or 4 months, not 2 months.
Hmm.
It's that was I was coming from. It's like if there is anything that we can gather easily and then get an estimation for different type of components, and then overall a release will be this. It's like okay, high risk here, less risk here, and then
Hmm.
be confident in doing this.
Yeah.
I did that many times.
It's
So
it's um it's interesting to hear that because I it sounds like you're very used to like enterprise level like
mhm,
release management and that usually is very different like open source and like other open source communities. Again, like you've mentioned, like sometimes people will come and go. Um, so it's a lot more difficult to kind of structure like who's going to spend like how much time, like if we can get it done in X amount of time. Um, with my other involvement in different communities as well, we don't usually plan like that much ahead. Um, we'll have like a general idea and then just kind of work towards it.
mhm,
Uh, doing anything more feels like it's a bit more like micromanagement.
sure.
Um,
I just like
that's how I feel anyway.
from an enterprise point, teams disappear, products disappear, and like in a year time, like and then the release still go has to go and therefore kind of similar to community driven development. It's more ephemeral, but there's a lot of things that will be very close to enterprise. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll
I'm
see.
learning. I'm learning.
Yeah, we'll learn together. I'd be interested to hear on your side of things as well. We can like compare and make notes
Yeah.
to see the differences between like enterprise and like open source communities. Yeah, Christian said this a similar thing where such extensive planning is not really a thing in this community and other free open source software communities.
Hello guys, sorry for joining so late.
Hello, Julius. Um, just to recap on this meeting because we are mostly done with the agenda. We've done a small retrospective for last release, 26.03. We went through some of the stuff that was mentioned in last week's community meeting, but also other things like some of the Monday meetings landing on bank holidays or like the 26.03.1 having like breaking changes from the 26.03 release. I've also put in a roadmap and I've also started assembling the release team. Most liaisons have been confirmed. I'm still looking for a few more, and I'll reach out to them again. And for next meeting, hopefully we'll have a team fully assembled that we can start development.
Thanks to the upgrade instructions, in the end, I was able to more easily update to 26.03.1. Everything is
Hmm.
documented, so I would say it's not really breaking since the
Hmm.
functionality is the same. It's just a bit of cleanup work. So I think there we just, yeah, it was on the edge, but I'd say it's
Hmm.
not yet breaking. Um, and I can help you have administrative rights everywhere. So I can shift the meetings. The releases in Git at least.
Hmm.
Of course, I'm not the release manager, so I don't do the management around it. I do the more technical part, I would say. And did you get any vendors on the call who wants to join the community distribution?
Yeah, so Arthur was kindly volunteered to be a release manager shadow for this release. I've met him in a local Python meetup about 2 weeks ago, and I shared this opportunity to him.
And
But I
and
think as a not as a vendor, but as a release manager.
Oh, yep.
And to be precise, Dominic, you didn't do that to me. You did that to everybody. You present, hey guys, we do this, please welcome. And I was one of the ones that came to talk to you.
As if I should give myself more credit. Yeah. Um, but yeah, that
um,
was go on.
did you get a good handover from Tarek? Because
Yeah, that was actually I need to put that in as well. Handovers. I've although I was nominated, and I've gotten access to some things. Like for example, I have access to the document here, and I can edit it. Um, it wasn't necessarily made clear to me that hey, like this is official. Like you've been nominated and you've been selected. It just kind of like you've been nominated and it's just been kind of left like that. Um, with KubeCon NA being like 19 Mondays away and the typical release cycle being about 16 weeks, um, I just decided to take initiative now because I don't want to have another case where like with last release, like 26.03 was out, but if you went on the website, 26.03 like AI reference platform page wasn't even up, and it still said like that like 1.11 was the newest during KubeCon or Europe. So I kind of want to avoid that.
yeah, I think technically we are rather advanced now. We have good testing infrastructure. Of course, it's not
Hmm
perfect, but it's getting always better. I really do test-driven development, which saves a ton of time. Um, and also
hmm
helps a lot of people. Um, yeah, but it's definitely a lot of dealing with the individual working groups because I do that stuff for 7 years. I have to check it, I have to verify, but talking to each individual working group, hey, when can you get a release ready? Then we have to think from a technical and also from a advertisement side, which release should be included. Nowadays, we try to not wait anymore. We just release, and if necessary, it
hmm
goes into a patch release. So it's a lot of communication and getting people together.
hmm Yeah, yeah. I do agree. I would be happy to also join some of the working group meetings as well, just to make them a bit more aware. But just make sure like there's some sort of line of communication still open. I know that for this release, although I know some people didn't make it to the like recording for the release notes, which is fine. But like I know sometimes we have to do our own digging because our like liaison may not be available at times. But we can cross that bridge when we get there, I suppose.
Yeah, you cannot imagine how many companies around the world are using it. I have a GitHub issue tracking it. It's crazy. Yes, not
Hmm
all of them are so, let's say, are not advertising it. They're just using it and consuming it. Maybe we became
Yeah.
good enough. There could also be one reason that people just consume it.
Yeah, it's one thing I've noticed as well. Like what I think if you go on kubeflow.org, it's like used by DHL, Red Hat, and AWS or Oracle.
Yeah,
Um, but if you go on Kserve, they have like uh a bunch of companies listed. Um,
yeah, we have the adopters file. So
yeah.
getting everything, even companies doing presentation, DHL, CERN, um, PepsiCo, all of them. Not even all of them are in here, and
hmm
only three or so are on the website, really, with a logo, because that's a different topic. So if you check searching Tupelo community for add more adopters, and you see a list.
hmm Yeah,
Search for
there's
pull
like
request. No, search for pull request, really. um, search for pull request and then add more adopters. Is it there somewhere in the community?
Owner files.
Or maybe in
There's
issues, then go to issues and it might
yeah.
be more adopters. And there you see a different list. Where is add more adopters? At the bottom.
Am I?
Number 3
Yeah.
from, and this is a long list. And
That's a mut.
if you it hides a lot of in between, so hides similar content. There are way more companies. If you
Mm-hmm.
scroll down a bit, this is just the rough thing. If you scroll further down to the end, 239 remaining items. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you go a bit up, just go a bit up, and you can
Yeah.
put more. If you click on that, you will see a few more companies. So also there, whomever we can get on the website or on the adopters file, yeah, maybe scroll down a bit. Okay, this has just to be out linking this. But yeah, further down, Adobe, yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are quite a few, and I list more and more.
Just never ends. Yeah.
So yeah, so especially in the regulated sector, and the more we can get on the website, the better.
Yeah. I know there's like some guidelines because I know companies are very picky with their logos. They have to make sure I have like a night version and like a dark, like a light mode and a dark mode as well. Um,
Yeah,
Lots of
but
extra
you
communications
can
there, but
also say in night mode and dark mode, the logo is the same. That's also
hmm
it for some branding reasons. That is necessary. We can do it, and companies don't have to agree to changing the logo. We can keep it the same in both themes. Yeah,
hmm. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. One thing I am curious about, like with the KCD or the Kubeflow communication or community distribution, um, I'm wondering if there should be like a liaison for that, just to make sure that like we're
Tarek is.
commu okay. Okay, simple enough then. Never mind.
yeah. I proposed Tarek to join, since he also spent some time. And we want people who actually spend some time really technically contributing. And those we want to
hmm
have community distribution maintainers, in addition to the sub-project maintainers, plus the vendors.
hmm Agreed. Okay, well then that's good. I'll add that here. I know I had like I think I have platform working group in here. 'Cause I mostly just copy pasted this from the last release. Thank you for all the updates to the notes. Yeah, platform working group. I'll approve these. I don't have much else to add. We can save ourselves 16 minutes unless there's something more to mention.
And I think Christian also, as you don't have to sell a distribution, I think, to become a vendor, just if you're interested. I mean, read the
Ah,
charter
interesting.
carefully, but I think you maybe you could apply. The same goes for you can think of which repositories are interesting for you, becoming at least reviewer, for example.
I mean, there's a good chance that I will act as the working group. What's that like representative for the notebooks working group in the KCT. But if that doesn't happen, I will think about applying as a vendor because in a sense I am a vendor. It's just not a public product.
Yeah, and I think that even means you don't have. I think not setting it publicly makes it even less biased. So yeah, there's even a strong argument in favor. But yeah, I don't want to block you any longer. I also think we can close earlier today.
Yeah. Okay, I will just ask Julius. I don't know where the recording is stored, and also the recording started as soon as people joined. I wasn't able to like start and restart the recording. Um, I'd be happy to edit the video down to cut like the first few minutes, but
Check whether you get an email with the recording. Ah, okay, Christian Holger.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Then see you later, guys.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye now.
Bye bye.